Good afternoon, evening, or whatever. I want to challenge the ladies. Please stop allowing failed males that can't be men because they've allowed their identities to be crafted. Please stop clapping for them. I have said on numerous occasions to stop it. Stop clapping and stop being quiet about all this terminology changing, identity rearranging, penis, Mr. Potato Head pursuits that these people are pushing, because they always running off at the mouth about women, they look better than women, this, that, and the other, but I'm sure everybody has seen E.J. Johnson with his big old unnatural looking, because he's supposed to look unnatural because he's a man. You are overgrown, unnatural, big bird looking dude in a dress that has had some type of whatever alterations done to yourself, but by no stretch of the imagination, sir, and I don't care who your daddy is, and I used to like Magic Johnson while he was playing basketball. I stopped watching basketball once he retired. I don't have any respect for him now at all. I understand you got to love your son because that's your child, but the problem with many of us is we tolerate what we should not tolerate from our children. We can love them, but your son is living a lifestyle that is delusional. And nothing could be more delusional than for him to think that he looks cuter than any female in a dress. Now, there are some jacked up looking females out here. I see them all the time. You got some that are bad built, and that's fine. But they wouldn't be bad if they wore something flattering, but we've told people that they can put on whatever they want to put on, and it's fine. No, you really need to work on looking presentable or in something that's flattering. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the disrespectful trans individuals. God didn't make trans women. Satan did. So, in the Bible, as I always reference, Genesis 5:2 said he made them male and female. And then there's also in Genesis, you go further, he said, and then God created woman. See, allowing people to take and fumble with language, pervert the Bible, and terms like the term cis. I cannot stand cisgender women. Listen, God set the definitions and the tone very clearly. I don't have any respect for any individuals. Now, I will respect you as a human being, but I really don't have any respect for you, your opinion, or anything else. I don't care, especially when you get to an age of, I'm going to say, 21 and older. And I'm going to give you a little grace there, because a lot of times you don't learn, you don't get a little bit of sense until you maybe late 20s, early 30s. So I'm going to go 30 and older. But especially at my age, I get so disgusted with individuals my age, I'm going to say even in the 40 range, that sit and go along with, like I said before, why are you 50 something using pronouns? You know what pronouns are when we were in school, and it's not for that. Clapping and applauding for Baphomat creations by the medical profession is demonic. And I'm going to continue to say that because somebody needs to hear it, because you know it's wrong and you need somebody to tell you. You don't have to fit in with people because you are afraid. Why would you want to be like or fit in with people that think that way anyway? And especially for you iftrans, because you're not Christians, and especially those in the pulpit. when you sit and you don't speak out on these things. See, people are unclear on a lot of things, and that's because God's people are saying nothing. You have some that are saying something, but it's not enough. It should be some crying out going on. The devil's children are working all day, every day. They working overtime on steroids. And my biggest beef is with many in the church. Because it's one thing for the world not to know, but you're supposed to know. But when you half read or pick and choose or cherry pick or want to say that certain things in the scripture don't apply, the Old Testament was the prediction and the prophecy and laying down and setting law. The New Testament was the fulfillment of what was foretold. Foretold and fulfillment, but they're all applicable. So for the perverted Christians, or let me say perverted if trends, if you can't witness and represent the Lord Jesus Christ in his gospel, and you think you're supposed to have a new gospel, you have a problem. And you need to set all the way out. But please, ladies, this woman gave a masterful definition of why all this BBL, boob jobs, and all this lashes, the long, lashes that come out here look like they saying, you know what they look like? You know how the Jack in the Box thing jump out? So the lashes. What's that? You know how you got the little rattle? Remember we had the little parties and you would blow the little noise maker and it roll out? That's what a lot of these lashes look like. The exaggerated looking females. You know why? And I wanted to clip, and I hope I go back and find it. I wanted to figure out a way to clip what she said, because I said that's exactly the problem. When they make women into caricatures, because that's what we do when we do all this artificial things to ourselves. There's nothing wrong with wanting to enhance your beauty, but we have gone above and beyond what needs to be done, to the point where a lot of us don't even look natural, and we look like freaks of nature. It's a young lady that works in the office right next to me. Her BBL is nasty. You can tell her behind. I don't know who did it. They botched it. And there's no joke. She needs to be trying to get that thing removed. But all of that lends to the fact that we're being made into a caricature. So these funky, failed males can pretend that they look better than us and make it more difficult for men to even pinpoint, like, all the trans, they always doing videos about, oh, well, it's phobic. If you don't want to date a trans person, you're gay. You're gay. And if you have to trick men into dating you because you got to pretend to be a woman, you can't be you, but you want to, it's the delusion for me. It's time for us to stop making delusion reality, because you're not only messing up and defiling what God said and what he made, you're defiling and messing up the children, and you're messing up this whole society, and we're incurring the wrath of God, which none of y'all seem to have no worries about. You're so busy wanting to be a part of people that promote the perversion because you think it's about inclusivity. No. If you love people, you tell them the truth. They can choose whatever they want to choose, but they need to know the truth. The role of a gatekeeper for all the failed church pew sitters who don't know but are going along with all this trash in the world. The job, when you know, you're supposed to at least correct people in love. Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't think love is correction. Y'all think love is what these people have told you. How do you let the world tell you what God said and what you're supposed to do. Half the people that you listen to or follow are not God's people. They don't worship the God. They worship, their God is Baphomat. Their God is themselves. Their God is a woman. God ain't no woman. God is the Father. You all need to get it together. But seriously, stop allowing these little failed boys to run around here sassy. First of all, I think a lot of you all hate men so bad that you would rather see boys, including your sons, be effeminate. And you're going to answer for that too. Because there's no way in the world you could tell me that so many women sit up and clap and want to watch. Nah. And I'm not, you don't hate them. I work with sweet individuals. I speak to them, but I'm not going to never act like I'm never going to applaud you. I'm dealing with you as an individual that I work with, and I respect your work. But if they would ever talk to me about their lifestyle or whatever, I'm going to tell them the truth. Honestly. Sometimes you got to stop being worried about not being liked. Hell, people ain't going to like you no way. Everybody's not going to like you. And that's fine. They don't have to. But they need to treat you with respect, but they don't have to like you. It's people that I don't particularly care for, but I'm not going to be nasty to them or disrespect them. I just don't have to deal with them if they are that problematic. I don't need to fit in. But you out here letting these little, the language. And then for that fool to even sit up there, and he really was sitting up there. Now, EJ be having some nice purses. I like a nice purse. I seen his purse. He got a nice purse game. He shouldn't have no purse. He need to be somewhere holding a football or something. Or a basketball with his big, overgrown, big bird built self. But that's neither here nor there. His father has fed into his delusion. So he apparently has been probably in a reprobate mind at this point. Especially sitting up talking about he looked cuter than a female in a dress. And he only liked straight men, or straight men like him. Straight men don't like you. If they're straight, they're straight. Gay men like you. If any man messes with another man, he's gay. Let's be clear about that. Let's be clear. Y'all like to just mix up, mash up, and recreate things. No, like I said before, we need to call those things as they are. Because when you say things the way that they need to be said without the sugar on it, that will get people's attention. And maybe they'll be like, oh no, I don't want to be like that. They'll allow too much sugary language to deceive people and reel them in, and they're going to hell. But the disrespect towards women, the saying that you can look better than a woman, we are women, we this, that, and the other. You have never birthed a child. You will not birth a child as a man. The only way you'll do that is one of these foul Frankenstein playing doctors transplant a female uterus into your body, and somehow you end up getting pregnant. And I'm sure they probably working on that. It probably already been done somewhere. I don't know if it was a couple of years ago they said it was done. I don't know. But it's not correct. It's not natural. You're not naturally, nothing is natural. And that's the whole problem. Women, we are doing too much unnatural things to ourselves. So that way we just actually enabling these fools to think that they can alter themselves, because we altered too. Can we bring natural back? I'm not saying you can't wear makeup. Yeah, you can put on a little makeup. We all do. I got on lipstick. But it has to stop somewhere. And it needs to start with us that know better. Be it the Bible. And then for those of you that maybe not in the Bible and think that you God, you still should have good enough sense to know that boys are not boys and girls are not girls, and stop allowing people to convince you or to tell you or tell your children that they can be something other than that they're not. The biggest problem that we have is we're getting out of the identity in Christ. And then until we address that, we don't need to be trying to address anything else or talk about anybody else or trying to say who got God and who don't. Because trust me, some of the people that you think don't have no God got more God or have more reverence for God than you do. You don't even stand up for God when people talk about God. As I've said before on numerous occasions. I'm the same about what I say. And that's what I wanted to tell y'all today. Stop playing, ladies. Stop playing. Stop playing. But you can keep on playing. I'm gonna keep on saying what I gotta say, because you part of the problem, the biggest problem. Check your feminitism. Check yourself. And especially if you I love the Lord, he heard my cry. Especially if you always hollering about the Lord. You better get that Bible and go and make sure that what you saying is lining up with what he's saying. Because we out here doing a whole lot of mixing and cutting out the Bible and adding our own little personal stupid stuff. That's not how that works. God don't change for us. We supposed to change for him. And it's okay if we slow to it or coming along or move, but we supposed to be moving towards making progress every day. Somebody's sitting here being stuck, and that's because you sitting here listening to the world. Stop mixing the world with the word. Stop being an Iftrian and work on being a Christian. Stop listening to liars. The most basic lie is boys can be boys. What's a woman? And you can't define what a woman is. Stop listening to people who tell you this stuff, who want to put that stuff in laws, who want to put tampons into boys' bathrooms. Boys don't need no tampons in their bathroom. Men don't need tampons in their bathroom. And you can miss me with all that foolishness about, oh, well, in case they would, mothers know, or daughters know, or aunts or whoever know when a young lady becomes of age, you put some pads or something extra in their bath. Men don't need that in their bathrooms. That's for, what's that, trans men? Pretend men. But a lot of pretend men don't even go on the men's bath. It's only us that are so stupid that want to let men. I swear y'all tiresome. You don't get it until you actually confront it and see somebody in your bathroom. Sad state. You got to start standing for something of substance, because you out here falling for anything, and they really got you falling for anything, and you dangerous. You dangerous to everybody around you, including yourself. So we gonna stop. But let me see. Tomorrow, I don't know if I want to go on the grandmothers that aren't praying grandmothers, but they playing grandmothers, or do I want to go to the falters? The falters, because I still got to follow up the unnatural mothers, because my best friend like, hey, you have to follow up the unnatural mothers. Yeah, I do. Because they just out here unnaturaling to the 10th power. And it's so disgusting as a woman to see. But that's another thing too many people applaud for, or even you don't applaud for it. You don't want to say nothing to correct nobody, but then you complain about it. You ain't helping the children. Y'all don't want to be elders no more. Y'all need to go read Titus 2. Because I think, what's it, Titus 2 in Titus 2nd chapter, where it talks about what the older men supposed to be doing to train up the younger men, and the older women supposed to do to train up. And our kids jacked up. Yeah, we're going to talk about the kids next, because these kids are a wreck. You see your kids, and the police got to actually come out here and tell the parents to be a parent. Because that's the biggest problem. Law enforcement starts at home. A lot of kids wouldn't be caught up. Now, some of them hard-headed and they don't believe stuff stink. Definitely. That's true. But a lot of them, they ain't got no discipline. No accountability. So they just out here doing all kinds of stuff. The police and adults outside of you don't have to deal with your raggedy children. We don't want to. They're a problem. But then many of you are too. But we're going to save that for the next one. Have a lovely evening. I know I am.